Hello there, it's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee. So today what we are going to make is a fingerless glove. Well, we're not even going to make that. We're basically going to make a lace glove. And then this is all lace. And we're going to attach it to a piece of embroidery thread and then we're going to cut out the lace. So simple enough. Yes, if you are going to use your arm as model, then I suggest you don't get ink on your arm because it's indelible. Alright, so that's the width, but we also need the height as well. So we're going to add on 2, probably, that's a good 2 inches. It is slightly stretchy, so we can get away with that. And then we have to fold it in half and do the other side. So, we need that point, and then we need an extra 2, and we're going to cut it so that the fold is at the bottom so you can't see the seam rather than the top. Now this works so well if you are using, it's quite hard to display, but if you've got a net curtain with the floofy bits, if you just use one floofy bit, then you don't have to do the hemming. So, okay, so this is my pattern. I haven't marked how long I want it. I don't want it to come to the elbow, because then we're going to have all sorts of problems. Now, at the minute, I've got my sewing machine set up on a straight stitch. It would be advisable to have a zigzag stitch, because then we can use that as the hemming. And then I've got my piece of lace, which I suppose is about 30 centimetres. So, you know, I'm going to have to trim a bit off the end. Hokey cokey. So I've got this on the fold. I'm going to use a weight. I'm not going to pin it. I don't think it'll work. So I don't want the seam to be on my fold. I want it to be on my underarm. I'm going to use that as a weight, and then I'm just going to trim round. Probably about there. So yes, a very, very dramatic effect, and very, very simple to do. So, how am I doing this strap? Now, you could buy a piece of cord, that's not a problem, but what I've got is simple embroidery thread, and all I've done, if any of you out there are big crochet fans, this is the start of a crochet, but rather than doing a hook, I'm just going to use my fingers. So I have a loop here, and I'm going to put a loop through and pull it through, keeping it nice and tight, and then pull another loop through. And I need enough of this thread to go around my finger and round my hand, so I can just use that to line it up. Okay, so if I get to the other end, how we're going to start is I'm going to cross it over and start right way round. So I'm going to cross it over, and then I'm going to pull this loop through. So it's a simple slip knot, but without the, and then through the loop I'm going to pull another loop, tighten it up, pull another loop, and then at the end, if you're not careful, very rewarding this, you can just unknot it quite easily. Okay, so they're my things. I also have a needle to hand so that I can sew my thread in. So how simple is this? I'm just going to open this out, and I need a way to hem it. Now if I am very careful, and depending on the lace, I can use one of those rolling hem foots, or I can fold it over and then sew over the top. It's very tricky. Or I can put a zigzag on there, set my machine to shrink it slightly so that it just goes around like that. And then there we are. Just go around the corner. And very much on the edge, all I'm doing is catching the ends of this lace. When I get to the point at the top, this is the bit that goes there, I'm going to leave the needle down. Now, the machine would like to catch thread every now and again, so it won't sew on its own. Then when I've finished, if I've got any flaky bits, I can just trim those off the end. But modern lace doesn't unwind or anything. Well, this stuff definitely doesn't, so it's fine. Okay, now as I've got this stitch on my sewing machine, and this is a very basic model, it's a modern sewing machine, but it is very basic, I'm then going to fold it in half and just sew it up exactly the same. So, and then those two join together and then they sew up. Okay, so I've got my little bit of sewing to do. Also, I'm going to hem the end where my hand goes. So I'll be right back with you, and then we can attach the thread, the embroidery thread that goes from my finger to my glove, and you'll see how striking it is. Such simple design, and it will just make any costume stand out. Hi, so welcome back. Okay, got my gloves. Now, if you are not using stretch fabric, then what I would suggest is that you make sure that it's as big as the widest point of your hand, you know, this bit. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I've got a tapestry needle and I'm attempting to thread this through the lace. Now, if you don't have a tapestry needle, it's lace, so you can just push it through, but I thought for demonstration purposes I better use the needle. So let's pull that down a bit. What I've done is I've just threaded it through the lace, and then we can knot it off at the end, or we can knot it off when we begin, but we do need it to be tidy. And then with the other end, I'm literally just threading it through again in line with the stitches so that it's tidy. Now, depending on how much end you give yourself, I suppose we could go all the way around, but we'll just tuck that in for now. So let's pull that down. It's very springy. Yes. So, non-elasticated lace, then yes, I would recommend using a nice wide part. And if you do see any old gloves, you will see that they have like little buttons usually about there. So, I know, but there we go. Very dramatic, very easy to do, and perfect little end to a Halloween outfit. Alright, okay, it's 1980s, isn't it, the lace gloves. But thank you ever so much for watching. My name's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee.